So here we are in the inner sanctum in this very beautiful, gorgeous office with Coach. And you know, I was watching practice today and we were really struck by, you've got 6 freshmen, you've got a graduate transfer. There's a very unique blend of guys, but they feel
like they fit.
Chemistry. What do you sense?
Well, when I have some veterans, my teams are usually pretty good because my freshmen are usually pretty good and advanced. I would say the balance of this group gives us depth, but I need a couple of these guys to step it up. Like, it took Shea Alexander a while to become that guy, and it really took Kevin Knox a while to step away and separate. PJ's way better, Nick's way better. Quad A, you might as well put 14, 15 points in the book before the game. But you now have Reed, who talks, who leads, who coaches in huddles, and it gives us that guy. He's lost 15 pounds. He's moving better. He's quicker to the ball. He's not gathering himself in bully ball. Everything's quick to the rim, so he's gotten better. But there's a lot on these young kids, and I'd rather it be on those vets. But I'll be honest, the young kids are like, hey, put it on us.
That's what we noticed. You did a time when you separated and it was all freshmen, almost versus the veterans. Do you do that on purpose to see how they mix, mingle, compete against each other, or what's the thinking in there?
Well, part of it is I want to get that big unit with PJ at a 3. So when you do that, Reed, Nick, and PJ, and then you throw Quad A, all of a sudden you got all the veterans on one side, and then you throw a point guard. I'll do that some, but I'm using different combinations now simply because, you know, we have 8 or 9 guys, and probably all 9 could be a starter. So who do you start? Maria, does it really matter who starts?
No.
It's who's finished.
Finishes,
Yeah,
yes.
who finished.
How do you teach a kid that, though? How do you teach a kid that?
When you're 17 years old, you don't want to hear that.
Nope. I know.
want the introduction. I want the introduction.
Right.
But, okay, so you had a podcast where you were talking to Gino Auriemma, and it's the best thing I've ever heard about that, playing time, where you literally sat the guys in the room and said, you want more minutes? Tell him you're taking his. And I was like, oh.
I did that again. I said, PJ, are you willing to give up minutes to anybody? No. So for them to get your minutes, they got to take them. And I went to Quad A. Will you give minutes to so-and-so? No, not. But I really do like him. But he's not getting a minute. If he wants I said, well, please, someone give Brad minutes. They're like, no, that's my son.
His son.
Yeah, my son. They're like, no. But the other side of this, numbers don't matter as much here. We've had a player drafted in the first round that scored 3 points and 2 rebounds a game. We've had lottery picks. Devin Booker averaged around 10 or less and was a lottery pick and came off the bench, which shows I'm not very smart. But you also had Trey Lyles was 7-5 or 9-7, whatever it was. It doesn't matter here. Karl Towns, 21 minutes a game, #1 pick. Anthony Davis, 4th most shots. On the same team, Michael Kidd, the 5th most shots, 1 and 2 in the draft. Willie Cauley-Stein, 7th most shots, 21 minutes. It doesn't matter here if you can play. And that's what we try to get through to them.
So how much of that, or what do you do in practices to make that okay in games? You know what I mean? Like, how are you divvying up the scrimmage time or making sure that they know, listen, it might be your night this night, but it might not be the next night.
Right, and that's the other side of this is the clutter that they hear.
Yeah.
And I tell them, you're going to have to grow up. NBA, is that where you want to go? Great. No boys allowed. There's no boys in that league. You got to be a man. And all this clutter around you, that's the ego. And most of it becomes people telling you what you want to hear to make you feel good. So to ingratiate you to them, you can't deal with that. A man looks at it and says, wait a minute, I'm responsible for me. And you know what? I'm going to compete and earn the minutes. Here, they dictate who plays, not me. And then when you say we're going to ride, you know that's what I do. If you get it going, we're riding.
Let's go.
So my guess on this team, we will have, my guess is 9 guys will have 25 points in a game or more, all 9. And you go, well, really? Now, the issue is you can't average 25, 30 here because you got other really good players. So here's what happens. We play an exhibition game, and 7 guys are in double figures, and the 8th guy wasn't because he went 1 for 8. Got enough shots to be in double
Could have
figures.
been.
You got to make something. You
Yeah.
can't. So, you know, that's the challenge here every year. And then it becomes a recruiting challenge. Ready? I can't promise you're going to start. I can't promise you minutes. I can't promise you shots. We're not going to make you the face. We're not going to showcase you. You take what you want here. You take it. If that's what, no, look, no one's had more number 1 picks, more lottery picks. Mm-hmm. No one. Mm-hmm. So they've all come here and taken it. It wasn't given to them. But, okay, the other guy, I promise you're going to start. You're the one guy. Every year I get one and you're it. Well, it's 4 different guys hearing it, but or you're being absolutely starting from day one. I'm getting you 25 shots. We're going to showcase you, and you're going to leave in a year. And so now you're 17. Which one are you taking? Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it hard. We don't get everybody we recruit. We really don't. But you know who we get? The ones that belong here. Mm-hmm. The ones that belong here.
And I read this staggering figure that the players that you have coached here that have gone on to the NBA have earned a collective $1.5 billion. That was billion with a B.
But it's in the NBA, as you know, mm-hmm. if you get a contract, what if they trade you? Do you still get the money? What if you get hurt?
Yeah.
What if you stink? Yeah. You still get the money. So when we say it's $1.5 billion, those are the contracts currently that these guys have. And it's not shoe contracts, endorsements, anything else. It's just
probably higher.
I know,
it's
right?
probably more.
So you know, and then overall with my Memphis kids and UMass kids, it's like $2 billion. Mm-hmm. But again, that's a number, and people will say he's only going to throw numbers because they don't want to talk about their numbers, and I'm okay with that. But our thing here, lifetime scholarships, you're going to be insured. We're going to coach you to be your best version. You're going to have competition. How good can you be? You want to be a lottery pick? Okay, that's happened here. You want to be the number 1 pick? That's happened here a bunch. So it's all here for you to take. I can't give it to you. And I told my players today, I mean, part of the thing for me, my politics is a hand up, not a handout. Mm-hmm. It's a hand up. We're here, and guys have come here with the right attitudes. I'm going to take what I want. And it doesn't mean that you're selfish. It means that I'm going to work harder. I'm going to spend more time. I have more confidence in myself, and I'm going to go out and do this. And then they all want to win. Kids here want to win. Well, you know, you don't want to. We've been to more Final Fours, the SEC titles and regular season titles and wins and all this stuff, more than anybody. Yet they still sacrifice, give up, and they win personally.
Mm-hmm. Let's fast forward to Duke, because a big game coming up. I know you have IUP before that, so I'm a game at a time. I know that whole spiel.
Yeah, whatever you have to say.
Whatever you need to say. But Duke's coming up. You're ranked 2 in the country. They're ranked 4. How do you get a young group and a young nucleus ready quickly?
We're both in the same boat. We both got a bunch of young guys.
It's going to be so fun.
They're
like, can we tie our shoelaces?
Yeah, they're right.
Which
Pull
basket?
your socks up.
Pull your socks up.
Here's what you do. But they have the same thing we have. And it's going to be, are they farther along than we are at this stage? I think both of us, it's a great game to play to see where are we. And then it's also a great game to say, all right, what are we doing that we need to do different? We played Transylvania, and there were 2 or 3 things that I saw that, that I didn't see. It's like having a child, and you're there every day, and you don't see it. Then you leave for 2 weeks and come back, and you're like, oh my gosh, they grew 2 inches. I mean, what's going on? When you're with your team every day, it takes something to get you to look at them different. And so the same thing with Duke. When we play them, I promise you there'll be 3 or 4 things I walk away. Those have to be gone. They're not going to work. This stuff here is good, and we need to add this and this if we're going to be something. And I imagine Duke's going to do the same.
Mm-hmm. Before we let you go, I just got to say, everything in here is decorated spectacularly. So who did it? Because it's not you.
First of all, my wife says I'm a hoarder. Okay, you're a hoarder.
There's,
but
I can
but-
tendencies.
But those are every team that I've coached.
Okay.
So every player that I've coached is on that wall.
I love that.
You have significant balls and
Shoes.
Are
There's shoes
who's a
that
shoe
say
dog?
"Love you,
Anybody?
Coach."
Okay, hold on now.
This
Did
one.
you see the Calipari Pack Drake shoes that you had to get? There's
What?
2 of them
Where?
there. You didn't see them.
No.
He and I both signed them. So that I don't know what they're worth. If you move the box, there's an alarm goes off though, so you can't touch that.
So we can't touch it.
But
We're gonna try.
ladies and watch it. I've been doing this 35 years. I told my wife, you collect things in 35 years.
What do you keep out of here? There's too much good stuff.
There's stuff. This is my over the top. I just said, okay, this is what we're doing.
Do you have a favorite item in the office though?
Probably.
Besides us, but
Obviously.
You guys right now. That first ball that we won our first game at New Hampshire when I was at UMass, that we were down with 3 seconds to go at New Hampshire, who had a 50-game home losing streak, and we were going to lose to them. And we made a shot at the buzzer to win the first Division I game that I've won as a coach. And, maybe the 700 ball. I mean, there's some stuff up there that's kind of neat. Oh, I like the Muhammad Ali pictures that he signed for me.
I saw that.
That he signed, and those things are, they said those are 2 of his favorite pictures, and was able to go to a funeral it was what it should have been for a hero and a courageous man, but no, this is a recruiting office. You come in, you're supposed to. So it did its job. You're supposed to. Nice.
I mean, the pillows alone, the little poof pillows alone, I was in. So
That was one. It was not my wife, because if you've been to our home, we have a lived-in home. We still have furniture.
You have doggies.
From UMass. I mean,
Yeah.
really,
Right.
Oh yeah, we're just like.
Oh, then she's a hoarder too.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. We're excited. I mean, I don't know what the future holds, but we really enjoyed your kids today.
they were awesome.
Really enjoyed your kids.
They're good kids.
Yeah.
Good kids. And look, the reason I recruit the way I do, as you get older, you forget what you say to everybody. So if you say the same thing to everybody, you sleep good at night, because you don't have to remember, what did I tell him? And did I tell him he was going to be showcased? What did I say to him? Look, here's what it is here. It's not for everybody. I really want to coach you. We can help you get where you're trying to go, but I can't give it to you. I can't do it for you, and I'm not making promises. If that's what you want, you got to go somewhere else. And then the kid sometimes says, "Oh, good, I'm going somewhere else." It's okay.
Okay, so will you do me one last favor before we let you go? So later in the season, there is a Big 12 SEC challenge. So I cover the Big 12 Big Mondays. I do a ton of Kansas games. She does a lot of Kentucky games. So will you look in the camera and say to our bosses, we need Holly here for the KU side, Maria for the Kentucky
We need 2
side,
sideline reporters.
and so that we can come back and do your game. Will you
Where
please?
is the game here?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. We need both Holly, Maria. Come on, let's go. Let's get it done.
go.
Let's get it done. Does Norby Williamson have anything to do with this? Norby.
David Seisler, say
Norby.
David Seisler.
The only thing that they've done for me when I went, Norby bought me a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. That's the only
it. That's
thing ESPN has. No, they haven't. ESPN helped me build 2 programs. I have to be honest. They haven't.
We appreciate you.
All right, thank you. We'll see you at the Big 12 SEC challenge, hopefully.